Welcome to this Filmora masterclass. I am Sean Kitching, a full-time travel YouTuber and filmmaker, and today we're going to be talking about using sound effects for immersive video. Using sound effects is one of the most effective ways that we can bring a viewer further into our video. Each location you might visit all has unique sounds to that area. So including those sounds really gives off a much better idea of what it was actually like to be there, creating a whole nother sensory overload for the person that's actually consuming that piece of content. Ideally, we can capture as many of the sounds real time as we can so that they are actually ingrained in our clips, and it's gonna save us a lot of trouble. The problem is they don't always turn out the way we want them to. There's often a lot of interference and other background noise. This is where we can use AI denoise to get rid of a lot of that unwanted noise. So let's take this little clip here. There is nothing too damaging to the audio, but it's not that nice to listen to. It's not as clean as it could be. So let's take a little listen before AI denoise. Roots that are even close to the ground, because when you fall to the ground. And then here's that same clip once we've added AI denoise. Roots that are even close to the ground, because when you fall to the ground. So you can hear it's way cleaner and easier to process for the person watching it. So any of our clips that we don't get the ideal audio, we can use this, and the next step is to actually start adding sound effects into our video. For additional sounds, we can use the Filmora library to add in any other sound effects. This might be something like a whoosh for a transition, or some birds chirping in the background just to give some of that environmental feeling. I like to watch my video over a few times with no music or sound in it. I will mute any other soundtracks and just go through it and really think about what you would be hearing when you're seeing those visuals. Maybe you're on a beach, there might be some waves or some seagulls or some people talking. These are all things that we can add in with these sound effects. I think a key point of this is layering sound effects is gonna make a much more believable and dynamic sound. If you're on that beach, maybe it's not only just that one wave that your video is of and just one wave crashing sound. Maybe you want some ambience, maybe you want some soft wind noise. All of these sounds layered on top of each other are gonna give a much more full and rounded sounding sound effects pack in that video. It's key that when you are adding your sound effects that they're not too overpowering. The idea is not to make the viewer notice those sound effects being there and getting blasted with them. It's a very subtle way just to create a feeling. And the viewer should almost not really notice those sound effects. They would only notice the lack of them if they weren't there. So even if you don't hear every sound effect that you are layering full blast and full volume, that's fine. There is a kind of background noise. It's just subtle. It's just adding it in softly so that they get a better idea. Make sure you guys spend some time on the sound effects. It's a very fun and creative part. Not only can you use the sound effects for things that would have been in your scenes, you can also use things like the whooshes we mentioned or anything to just elevate it to that next level. I hope you guys found this video useful and my masterclasses on Filmora useful. Check out some of the other ones if you haven't. Other than that, it's been a pleasure.